Hey you guys, Randy Richard in the shop. This is a K600 model Kubota Backhoe from the 1970s. And it was actually not made by Kubota, and even Kubota doesn't even recognize these anymore. It was made by ARPS, which is now Ameriquip Corporation. And they actually kind of supply some parts and sell parts. At least gives you some part numbers maybe. They really don't even recognize this one, but you have to call them. But anyway, I have the thing works good pretty much for me. I've done tons and tons of digging with it, and it does work good. I have had to repair the buckets, and I did a bunch of welding on them, and facing and hard facing and things like that to keep them up. But anyway, you know, basically it works out pretty darn good. Except for, I was digging a footing for building a small studio the other day, and the chain over here, I'm going to zoom you in and show you this. The chain broke. I did one repair on it, and then the chain broke in another spot, and the chain's just worn out. And this needs a little bit of work. And I was able to buy some chain for it. So we're going to install new chain and hopefully do some modification work to make this work a little bit better. When it swings all the way to the side and it hits a stop, it's really hard on it. And I want to get that fixed to work a little bit better, so we don't break the chain and overstress things and break the bar that the chain actually attaches to. Has broken a couple times, and I haven't welded back together pretty good this last time, and it's holding up. But we're going to see what we can do about getting the chain here fixed. As you can see here, this is the chain. This is a size 60 chain. It's like a real big bicycle chain, you know, it's roller chain. And you can see how this is broken here. And there's two pieces actually. One piece attaches to this side and rolls around the bottom cog, and then the other chain from the other side comes around the top cog here. And there's a hydraulic cylinder behind here, and as the cylinder is extended and retracted, the entire bucket swings from the left to the right. There is a little spring here, which is basically nothing, and there's no spring on the other side. And I think both sides are supposed to have a spring, a pretty heavy spring actually, to absorb some of the shock when the bucket swings all the way over to the stops, which are down below here. So we're going to go, we're going to grab some tools, and we're going to start taking this apart here, getting these chains off. All of this has to come apart to get these chains out. They just don't slip out. So I have to drop the guide bars and get this bar out of the way so I can get these chains out of there. Pretty wimpy springs, and this one's just plain shot. I hope to find something I can use in there that's a lot stouter. Yeah. And we're going to do a little machine work, I think, on the end of this bolt. The bolt's fine. It's just the head is actually too large. All they did is turn down a bolt head. I'm going to turn that down a little bit so that swings on there a little bit better. I've had to remove the bottom guide and loosen this one just about all the way except for the one bolt. I also had to put the unit back on the tractor so I can get this turned a little bit to remove the pin from the hydraulic cylinder in the back. And there's a hole for it to drop through. So I had to get that lined up. Now we have this loose enough. I should be able to get this out of here. There we go. Get this out. This is what's broken before, right there in half. And it's under a lot of strain and flexing at the very end of the stroke. And I think that's why it gets stressed and breaks right there. Now we'll be able to get these chains off of here. There's enough clearance to get these chains around. Really bright out here today. I undid the bottom end of the link. I had safety wire through the holes in the pins to hold the bottom half on. And this should slip out. There we go. So we just slip that out. See, there's holes in there. And I had safety wire in it. Or a cotter pin will work. There we go. Now we should be able to slip that chain out. There we go. So we have about, I don't know, about 17, 18 inches of chain. And you can see how this one's been stressed. Actually, that pin must have broke in there also. Well, we'll put all new, actually this chain is probably okay, but I bought all new chain, so I had to buy 10 feet. So I'll just replace everything. All right, chains are off and a little bit cleaned up. Yeah, tractors are dirty. Tractors get dirty. So yeah, so the chains are off, it's a little cleaned up, and this now is free swinging. So you can see. Yeah. We'll go get that one bolt off, turn the head down. Now we have the two chains. This one broke in that area, the third link or so, and this one broke right inside the pin here, right there. And yeah, we'll just replace them both. About 17 inches of chain, and we'll make us up some new chains. Pin broke here on this link here, but this pin also broke. All I had to do was swing it out of the way and knock it out of the hole. But that one also should shear it off. Now this one, the pin bent. It didn't shear off, it just bent and stretched, and I ended up having to, it was bent inside the hole here, and I hacksawed it at the end there and got it out, and then knocked it out with that's it, hacksawed it off. And then just knocked it out with a punch. I'm going to turn the head of this one down like this one so it swings better now. Turn down, and brand new end links, of course. It will go in there. This is the new chain, and that will slip in there, and now this will swing freely around the end. Before it would hit and not give you full freedoms, but now we have full freedom. It's made in China chain, Triton 60 size chain. It's got several extra links in there. This is the other side of the chain link. It's kind of like a big bicycle chain, right? And then this removable clip will go on here to retain that. We should press these pins out. So I'm going to see if I can get set up with the hydraulic press to press those out. There we go, laid out, marked, 2 pins to press, and we'll have 2 links the same. I made a little mandrel to go underneath, so contact area is right on the link. That's going to go underneath the pin, like that. This is a pin, this is a removable link pin, so this pin slips right on through the link. Oh no, one of the old ones. We're just going to use it as a punch piece right there. And pin's out. Now I just take a pin punch and knock that out. Comes out real easy. All right, we got 2 chains made up, and we just got to put our bolts on.
with one of the new links. And we'll just take our bolt, the new link, slip that in. New link end, and then this goes on here. There we go. Now these are just like snap rings in a sense, is that they have a soft edge and a sharp edge, and you want that sharp edge out. That's where the force is, and if you put the soft edge out, it has a tendency to pop off easier, so you want that sharp edge out. I'm putting it up there, and then I'm prying it over to snap in on the end. So my length is in. There we go. And then I split this and snap it down on there. Okay, I was ready to go back on the tractor now. Alright, I have my chains slipped around the sprockets, and because of the positioning of where the link goes to attach it, I'm going to leave the top one kind of off right now, and I'll hook up the bottom one, then I'll swing the top one around and do the top one. That way that chain is not in my way so much. It's pretty tight quarters down in here. So I got the chain in there. Now there's a hole in the sprocket, and I should be able to line that up. There we go. And I'm going to slip that on top, hopefully. There. We have our clip. Well, I got it on. How about that? You can see it in here. Pretty tight space. But we got it. Now we'll do the top one. Now we just need to swing this chain around. The hole's right here. There we go. Okay, we're going to slip the from the top link in. Now, this one's even harder in a sense, is that we got to do it all from the bottom. Oh, not too bad. On there. Now we need to get the bar back in, get everything reassembled. All right, well, we got it back together, and I've got some springs in there, and I'll zoom in and show you what I'm talking about. It works. It could be better if I had short, stout springs where the compressed length is only, an inch when they're all fully compressed. It'd be nice if they're about 1.5 inches to 2 inches when they're open, but they need to be stout springs. They need to be a 5/8 ID and about, they could be a little over 1 inch OD, it looks like. But you'll see this. I mean, it works fine, and it's not overstressing my chains. I'm making sure that they're not being stressed. And it goes full swing, but this is what I don't like. Is when you go to a position, you'll get some swing back. See, and it's just something you deal with. But I'd like to be able to get, if I had stiffer springs in there, you wouldn't have so much of this kind of play. And it's all about not overstressing that chain. That's what I'm really worried about. And the springs give you that leeway. It will work for now until I find some better springs. You'll see the spring's right here. See how that opens? And that would stop that. See that bouncing? A stiffer spring would stop that. Well, the hunt will go on for better springs. So thanks for watching the backhoe repair, and we'll see you in the next one. Please subscribe and click that notification bell. It all helps, please. And we'll be having more videos.